Alright, it is spooky week, so we are looking at some superb stories with Draculas in them, starring the Marvel character Jack Staff. This is Jack Staff, issue the first, from 1998. A series that is likely past the general cut-off point for half of my subscribers, and a series that will likely have been missed by the other half. This is, no word of a lie, a splendid miniseries. This is the Jack Staff story you have wanted to read all along. You will know the character from Invaders and Captain America, and you'll have always wanted them to do something with him, and this is exactly it. We even have one of those your guide to the Marvel Universe foldouts, and I didn't realise this had them. I am more familiar with this. It's Ancient Trade paperback. This is one of those odd collections you can find still floating around in stores at massively cheap or discounted prices. It was one of the first trades I ever got. It is a great thing to add to your collection. The recap page does actually acknowledge something I was going to point out. They don't explain where Jack Staff's mystical strength went. When I saw the Knights of Penzance and Jack Staff's horrible NFL redesign, I lit up thinking that they were going to say that his imbued magical strength has been waning or it is gone. But they don't, and the mystery remains why he went back to his classic and superior moulds. This stars the current day Jack Staff, the character living in the present. But we do begin with some quick acknowledgement to the history of the identity as a wartime superhero. Weirdly, we do not mention the second Jack Staff, the one from World War II. We only focus on the original. This is written by Bat Rabies, with art by the recently late Cletus Cassaday. The art is effortlessly perfect, and you might think that it would put the writer to shame by comparison, but our story, while basic in premise, is more than worthy of the extreme quality of art. Bat Rabies was an editor. He was the assistant editor on the two main Excellent Men titles from 1994 to 1996. The end of Onslaught Man. He is best known, however, for being one of the editors who started writing everything in the mid-90s. Whenever there was a comic that a writer didn't want to write, Bat Rabies would be one of the editors who would leap at the chance to write. He did Avengers issues. He did that story I quite like with the Predator ripoff attacking the mansion and Madame Masks. He did the Darth Knight one-shot, the one with Big Barda and Neil Diamond. He did some Uncanny Origins. I think the Excellent Men ones mainly. His most substantial work was writing the final few years of Excalibur. He was always, to me, one of the best of the editors turned writers from the mid-90s. This series is, and was, very integral to my belief. This was the first time I think I read anything by him, so it made me probably predispositioned to accept anything else written by him afterwards. We open with Jack Staff battling Draculas in a church, edited by Tom Beevort. That would be why I assume we make no effort to explain why Jack Staff is back to looking like he did in Royce Sternham's story. What we have is an exciting superhero action adventure with Draculas of London. Warren Zevon didn't sing about them. It is worth recommendation for the art alone. Spectacular work from Cletus Cassaday. And I don't want to dismiss the colours by Dave Stewart from Eurythmics. Nice bombastic colours to go with the clean line work and inking by Cletus Cassaday. Even today, on quite a miserable grey day, this still pops. This was rather early work for Cletus Cassaday. Before this, there was Excellent Men and Alpha Strike, which was a 2-issue limited series by the same creative team as this. A continuity insert showing an unseen team-up between the two groups. After this, though, Cletus Cassaday would go on to much greater fame with Joshua Whedonson's Astonishing Excellent Men and Warren Fallis's Planetary. Both of those writers being very bad men. In Astonishing Excellent Men, he draws Emma Frosty's loads, and I love it. She looks amazing. Thank you for that, Cletus Cassaday. Here is a big smattering of imagery. We have been seeing a very functional introductory action set piece, and the best thing about it is that we don't cut back to 2 weeks earlier to show how we got there. Over here, we have mention of Knights of Penzance, but not what we need. An explanation for Jack Staff reverting to normal. Now, to truly appreciate this story, I think you do need to have read or be aware of the Captain America 2-parter, which gave us this Jack Staff, as well as his friend Kenneth. Kenneth is the rightful heir to the Jack Staff mantle, but he is too ruddy ill to be a costumed adventurer himself. And they are at a funeral. One of Kenneth's friends has passed away. Both Kenneth and this person suffered from a blood disease, but Jack Staff observes the similarities to a Dracula victim. We then meet what Jack Staff describes as a leggy bird. She will be important. You see, she is a Dracula. She is the Dracula queen. She is queen of the Draculas. She is, later, we will be looking at the story after this, but she later outright adopts the costume of Barry Blood, and people call her Baroness Blood, but she is only ever referred to as Baroness in the comics, never Baroness Blood. It is the exact same thing as Baron Zero's wife. She was never actually referred to as Baroness Zero in a comic, but rubbish fanboys online come up with these lame, uncreative monikers, which, while accurate and sensible, don't carry any imagination. Like how Miss McDonald's was never actually called She-Thing in Steve Engeltine, Simon Waltonson and Tom Falcon's runs. But now she is She-Thing. And she has always been She-Thing, supposedly. We have got our characters and ideas in place. And the art is brilliant. From the art alone, I am shocked this did not spawn a Jack Staff ongoing. I guess sales weren't there, but the art is pretty much the best art Marvel put out in 1998. I am willing to commit to that declaration. This bit ties in loosely with Bat Rabies's Excalibur run, the character that Jack Staff is visiting for intel. She is from some of Bat Rabies's Excalibur issues. She is also sister of Warren Fallis, the insert character, Warren Fallis. And actually, Cletus Cassaday did art for a cover to an issue of Bat Rabies' Excalibur, Nightmare Man. And the cover is okay, but the original art is fire. They fucked with it. They made it worse. They changed it. It would have been excellent as is. If I remember, this woman, she looks odd in this, but in Excalibur, she is shown to not be odd. I didn't read the Excalibur issues until much later, and I was disappointed she was not an art character outside of Cletus Cassaday's art. Something extra for you. Bottom left panel. There's one of those images I have used as an avatar on somewhere at some point. With the text removed, of course. Wouldn't be able to read it at avatar size anyway. The friendship between Jack and Kenneth becomes a bit strained. Kenneth's illness is getting worse, while Jack is out living an exciting life of adventure. Something to note, which I pointed out in my review of the Captain America issues. Between them and these, Jack and Kenneth swapped hair colours. Jack and Kenneth get into an argument. Well, a bit of Kenneth, he tries to fight Jack, and Jack takes him home. I do feel like Fire Spit is underutilised in this series. She is Kenneth's mother, and what we see of her, Cletus Cassaday draws one of the most beautiful women around. It is like January Jones has walked into the comic or something. Fire Spit had also been de-aged in Jason Byrne's run on Seaman. And now one of the ideas we play with is that Fire Spit is healthier and also younger looking than her poorly son. That night, Kenneth is visited, like it is the Lost Boys, by his dead friend who was trying to seduce him. But not in a gay way, in a Dracula way. Which in the Lost Boys, the two are interchangeable really. But Jack Staff suspected such would occur. This leads him straight to the Baroness, the leggy bird herself. There is also all this guff about the Holy Grail and a prophecy and Baroness's plans. And that is okay. Creates a sense of urgency or an extra sense of it. I have been promising to review this on Halloween for several years now, and this time we have gotten it. We will be looking at issues 2 and 3 in the following days, and then closing the week with the 2-part sequel to it from a few years later. Be sure to thank Robert the subscriber for that planetary gag. I have been eager to use it for a month now. I will give this Jack Staff thing an easy 7 thumbs up.